It's never too late. If you're alive, you can get better. If you're alive right now, you can improve your condition. You can improve your situation, and it starts with improving the way you think.
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life.
Gosh.
There was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind. Every single one of them. Think about it.
Really was.
Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up.
If you are broke or you are poor and wish to no longer be broke and poor, the first is owning the fact that everything that has to do with your life is your fault. And a lot of people will reject that. And you're right, stay poor. You're totally right, you'll never be successful. You're totally right, I believe you. The next step is being willing to use what you have rather than what you think you should have or what you wish you had. The circumstances, the connections, the money, whatever. The passion, the purpose, the meaning behind the work. You can wish for all that stuff, but you don't have it. So you have to use what you have. It could be anger, it could be shame, it could be pain, whatever.
We all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
If tomorrow was not a guarantee, how far would you push? If you thought that today was your last opportunity to ever do the thing, how far would you go? If today was the last day you were ever going to work out, to ever be able to train for a certain event, how far would you push? If you were a football player in college and this is going to be the last game you're ever going to play, how far would you go? How fast would you run? How much would you sacrifice knowing you're never going to lace it up again? And it's really not living with regret is kind of the point of the message.
You have no fucking idea how great you really are because you are using such minimal of what you have.
If you want to maximize everything that you have with your career and your ability, then squeeze the fuck out of that lemon.
Yeah.
Why not?
You know what you're supposed to do. Deep down inside, I think everybody does. And a lot of people just don't go after it. You know, and like most people start out, they say, I want to be a this, but I'm going to get that to make sure I have something to fall back on. Yeah. And what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure because you're going, there's a possibility that I'm going to fall back. And when you put that out there, then you fall back. But if you just say, hey, this is what I want to do, and you go do it, you usually get your stuff the way you want it, man.
Just keep stacking days. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change. But my coach used to always say, everything that you want is on the other side of hard.
Your life and the journey you put yourself through, there's nothing more than that. And that's all I want people to do is realize that you have to struggle. You have to struggle. The bigger the struggle, the bigger the peace. The bigger the suffering, the more peace.
Because at the end of the day, all of this hardship will be forgotten. It will fade into your memory. And so know that as you're going through it, you're actually just going to disproportionately in your memory remember the good stuff and not the bad stuff. I only have a few glimpses in my memory of the time when I was sleeping on the floor and I had my gym and I was getting started, and I remember being so tired that like a good night's sleep couldn't fix it. I remember that, but it's almost like I remember the words that I told myself more than I even remember the experiences because it was so long ago. Things will get better, and you will remember the betterness more than you remember the suffering, because the betterness will carry over into today, which will always be fresher for you.
Everyone's faith is challenged. I mean, Christ himself cries in despair out to God on the cross. And the story wouldn't be believable without that. Like, if you're going to live, you're going to be pushed past your limit, right? If you're going to live. So, but who knows what you discover when you push past your limit?
Like, did you really lock in your mindset and say, if this was for everything, if the end state meant this, like, my kids' lives are literally on the line. If I do not run at absolute 100%, how far would I dig in? How far would I go? How hard would I hit? Like, how hard would I go? Like, what does 100% look like? And a lot of people never touch it. They never understand their full capability, their full threshold, because they never reach it.
There's people that are willing to go very far, and then there's people that are willing to go far further than them.
That's it.
And when you're a person who prides yourself on your ability to go very far, and then someone is willing to go far farther than you, you have to decide, do I want to look at that as the new standard? Do I want to judge myself? Do I want to admire him? Or do I want to try to take him down because I feel bad? Because I can't do what he does, or I haven't done what he does, or what he does makes me look bad, because I like to think I'm a hard worker.
Right.
I like to think I'm disciplined and hard. And then I see this fucking dude out there that's just making me look soft.
Right.
And so instead of just going, look at him, man, fuck yeah.
Right.
Instead of a smart person will look at that person as fuel.
What the hell were you all waiting for to start attacking life? Waiting for the fucking stars to align? Back when I was growing up, the song came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. In the military, we had this big old rucksack on their back. Had batteries, water, extra gear. Your extra gear is the shit you're dealing with in life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck it the fuck up and do it. Stay hard.
Your life is short and it's troublesome. And perhaps you need to do something worthwhile with it. And if so, then you should do the most worthwhile thing. And you should figure out what that is for you. And part of that's definitely going to be to develop your character as much as possible, to dispense with those parts of you that are unworthy. And then maybe, if you're fortunate and you do that carefully, then happiness will descend upon you from time to time.
If people are succeeding, even slightly, in a job that they hate, think about how good you could be if it was something that you really, really cared about.
Right.
Think about how amazing you could be if you pursued something that you genuinely had existential simpatico with.
Right.
As opposed to something that you detest.
Yeah.
Or are just not that fussed about. If you're in the chasm of comfortable complacency, just how good could you be if this was something that you loved?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It's never too late to be successful. You know? What? And it don't matter what people say. It ain't up to other people. It's up to you and God. It ain't got nothing to do with them. Who are they? They onlookers. They just spectators in the game, man. There's a poem that says, the credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with dust, blood, sweat, and tears, not to those cold and timid souls in the stands who know neither victory nor defeat.
And guys, I'm here to tell you that if you are experiencing a losing season right now, understand that there's a winning season around the corner. But you have to be an active participant in getting yourself out of the losing season. You can't do what I did back in the day, which is sulk and let the dominoes continue to fall by stopping the things that are working for you, isolating yourself from friends, stopping your workouts. All those things compound the problem and elongate the problem, add more time to the problem. You will stay in your losing season longer if you do those things. Instead, get even more disciplined, get even more structured, create even more order in your life.
Maybe some of these stories we're discussing could be your form of inspiration to say, man, I'm so sick and tired of being in credit card debt. Why are you? Let's go through it. How can I improve myself? Make that decision. Because one thing's for sure with my life, you're one decision away from changing. You are one decision away from changing. It's a decision away. You're one decision away from changing your life